בקרוב תזרח השמש, נדע ימים יפים מאלה, הלב נלחם בדאגות. כולם יחזרו הביתה, נחכה להם למטה, הלוואי נדע בשורות טובות. כי עם הנצח לעולם לא מפחד, אפילו כשקשה לראות. כולם ביחד, אף אחד פה לא בודד, שישרפו המלחמות. עם ישראל חי, אם לא נשכח תמיד להיות מאוחדים. עם ישראל חי, בעליות בירידות, גם בשעות הכי קשות. הקדוש ברוך הוא שומר עלינו, אז מי יכול עלינו? כי אין לנו עוד מדינה. תעשה שלום בינינו, שמור על ילדינו, כי לא אבדה האמונה. עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי. עם ישראל חי. אור ארצי נחלתנו, לא תיפול כעת רוחנו, מסביב ברזל של חרבות. ויונה תפרוס כנפיים, התקווה בת שנות 2000, עוד נצא לשיר ברחובות. כי עם הנצח לעולם לא מפחד, אפילו כשקשה לראות. כולם ביחד, אף אחד פה לא בודד, שישרפו המלחמות. עם ישראל חי, אם לא נשכח תמיד להיות מאוחדים. עם ישראל חי, בעליות בירידות, גם בשעות הכי קשות. הקדוש ברוך הוא שומר עלינו, אז מי יכול עלינו? כי אין לנו עוד מדינה. תעשה שלום בינינו, שמור על ילדינו, כי לא אבדה האמונה. הקדוש ברוך הוא שומר עלינו, אז מי יכול עלינו? כי אין לנו עוד מדינה. תעשה שלום בינינו, שמור על ילדינו, כי לא אבדה האמונה. עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי. כי עם ישראל חי.
Shalom, folks. Shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom, Shavua tov. May God bless you. God be with you guys. How you guys are doing today? It's been a long time, and there are so many things happened in between the last time and now. Uh, Two hurricanes. One was Helena. We saw that last time. More than 240 people died, and how many people missing still they found or not. Still, it is in doubt, and I'm not sure how was the account. I didn't follow it after some time. And again, Milton got hit by last Wednesday. I mean, this past Wednesday, it landed. Not sure what was the damage. Definitely, there were a lot of people without electricity, and there are destructions there, but I'm not sure. And also, personally, I do have a lot of things going on in my world. Also, deaths after death. It is very, very tough to digest. And I mean, unfortunately, today, I don't know why I'm so late today, actually, because of this day. So I'm a little sad. I'm not in a bubbly joy mood today. But still, then I thought that because if I leave it, it'll be too much of a gap in between. So I thought that probably I'll come by and then just post, a couple of words for you guys. So, how you all are doing? I hope you guys are doing great, and you all did the Rosh Hashanah very well, um, and also today I just wanted to recap, and also I'm having a title on, is it apologetics or apologetics, Paulinity or Christianity? Who founded the Christianity? So many people, most of us, we think that Jesus came and Jesus established the Christianity, but which is not true, because let's see how it's going to roll out today. Um, all these days we were talking about the books Christianity, and Mark, especially Mark Gospel, we were looking into, and also we were comparing the other Gospels too. As a disclaimer, again, I wanted to start before I say something. This is not focused by an individual person or any Christianity group or any organization. I'm just trying to say that it is a very highly sensitive subject, and all I'm doing here is that trying to get the truth out there. To take it or leave it, it's all up to you. If you take it and if you want to dwell in it, or if you want to research more, that'll be a good thing for you. But if you don't want to do it, it's up to you guys. But I'm just doing this disclaimer. It's not focusing on anybody. It's not focusing on any religion, or it's not focusing on any group or any association or anything. Uh, purely about the truth that what I found, I'm sharing it. Take it, leave it. It's up to you guys. So, having said that, we saw a lot of discrepancies in the chapter, in the book of Mark. Mark had only like 16 chapters, and the last chapter had only 12 verses. I mean, 8 verses, and the last 12 verses were added into that one. It wasn't there initially. The original book of Mark doesn't have any the last 12 verses in the last chapter of Mark. It was only 8 verses, but later on, the people they added to that Mark gospel. So there are so many deletions, and there are so many corrections in the New Testament, which makes us to ask question: is it the word of God or not? Why would the word of God has should have this much of flaws, and this much of incompleteness, and also contradictions between the other books on the Old Testament? There's so many things. So. Which is not correct, and we just also talked about how the Mark Gospel and how the Matthew, Luke, and all compared with the genealogies, Joseph's genealogy and Mary genealogy, and then how they were being divided into groups. And also we talked about the travel of Jesus from Nazareth to Egypt, and also coming back again. And some gospel addresses it, and some gospel they are not addressing it, especially Matthew and Luke. I'm talking about, and also we talked about like the uh, um, the Mary and her genealogy, and how that was compared to when we compared with the Joseph's genealogy. So many things when we saw a lot of the contradictions in between that, and the Mark. That's how it ends up in the Mark with the 8th chapter, and after the resurrection, period. So so we saw that Mark Gospel, Matthew, and Luke and John, everyone had a difference between at least a couple of decades, and 10 or 15 years later, each and every book was written. But there are a lot of discrepancies in those books, and also um, some of the books are very very questionable, and there was not many answers to those books at all. Whereas after these four gospels, what happened to this Christianity? Was this Christianity established by Paul or by Jesus? And some people say that like there are so many intrigues in this the subject, because um, Paul is widely known and it is widely accepted. Paul established um, the what I can say, the Christianity or Paulinity. So he was going around and preaching the gospel, and especially to the certain places. And even when he went, the things were different in Jerusalem. Paul was a believer of what I can say, the upcoming, the future Christ than the historian Christ. Paul was interested only in the resurrection Jesus Christ than the historical Jesus Christ. If you see Paul, if you read Paul's the whole book, he wouldn't have gone to Jesus' birthplace or death place. No, he didn't go. He wasn't. He wasn't gone all those places because he thought that it wasn't an important thing, or he was busy with somebody else, with the disciples and other people, to convince them that he was a chosen person by Jesus. So maybe to convince them, you know. Um, so what I'm trying to say is that Apostle uh, Paul, when he writes his gospel, was his gospel when he claims that Christianity, but there was already Christian people were there existing, right? If you see the Acts chapter 9, you will see that there are already Christian people existing. How it's possible then Christianity became afterwards? And not even that, at that time period, lot of messiahs was roaming around in this area. So many people are roaming around. Everybody wants to be, excuse me, pushed into one more grade, level up. So many messiahs was there, like Judas was there, and everybody was having their own group claiming their messiah. So here comes a Paul. Probably he was a one person who was trying to standardize or something, but he was a one person who started writing things. That's how he's getting his authentication, because he was a person who started writing with first thing with the Corinthians and all other people. Um, so the documentation helped Paul to make sure that he was the authenticated author or writer for the New Testament, which he started earlier than anybody else. And after him came all these gospels. So Paul, when he was trying to explain his status to the Jewish people, he could not able to go there and talk to them because they didn't accept him as a person that who carry these messages. Because in Judaism, they don't carry anything. They don't do any what do you call the outside evangelization or anything. Jewish people, they don't go and, literally go and do those things. If it is on the fly, they talk and go, that will be different. But I mean, throughout the thing, they were not doing all those stuff that women were talking the other day. So Paul, when was not believing in um, like monotheism. Paul was believing in polytheism, because as long as you can, if you read the Paul's gospel, I mean Paul's books, if you can see that it always mentions about the three things like Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. So Paul wasn't a believer of the monotheistic God; he was a believer of polytheistic God. And also, there are a lot of books that Paul wrote, but some of them was not authenticated. Some was have a claim, but they were questionable certain things. So Paul was authenticated. He wrote several letters, and some of the letters were not even accepted. Almost like a seven letters was not accepted. So Paul also, maintains the person of the character, like um, you know, everybody is saved. He believed that everybody is saved through their works and deeds. So your works are very important, your deeds are very important. Through that only you will prove that you are saved. That's what the Paul's claim. Jesus was not only one leader or one Messiah at the time, but several people was there when Jesus was on the floor on the ground. Paul it was influenced by all the non-Christian and the philosophers. So Paul was so much interested in the non-Christians because he was much influenced by those people, and he could able to preach and teach them. So Paul was stuck up with this non-Christian because non-Christians, they do not know anything about the Bible. Paul was the one who was supposed to preach them and teach them. So Paul was the one, like for the Gentiles. No one else was there, and the Jewish people, they will never even join to them, right? So the Paulinity or apologetics, these all start from from Paul was the first person who wrote the books. First Corinthians was written the first book. After 20 years only, the gospel writers started writing all those things, and there was a lot of mistakes in the gospel writings. You might have seen that, you might have heard that. We're not going to go deep in that one. This is only, I'm talking about the Sundar. I'm sorry. I'm talking about the the Pauline letters and Paulinity, apologetics, and how Paul uh, established or influenced or institutionalized the Christianity when while Jesus was the core value, or he was the center person. He was a center figure for Paul's Christianity growth and his story. So Paul was a person at the time of the first century that he was documenting whatever Jesus was doing at the time. For him, it was like a resurrected Jesus that he was appeared. So he was connecting that Jesus to the Jesus of Bethlehem. That's what Paul was doing over there. But actually, the original thing, what happened was several messiahs were at the time. Several people were having their own groups, and several groups. Was there presented at the time. It was not only Jesus Christ that he was doing all this, preaching and teaching at the time. There several people were there. So Paul wanted to probably standardize or regularize, do something for these things because nobody is growing in a better way, right? So Paul wrote books, and he started the monumental books for him. So it's going to be there forever. In the first book, the 6 books of Paul. So Pauline started with all the Gentiles. That's why they call all the time it's Pauline, or it's kind of uh, the the Apollos, or what do you call, um, we had a, a very good title for that to call out, right? So it was an apologetics or apologetics. It's a Pauline, or the other one. So always think about these folks when you read the books. Study, when you properly read these books, what they are telling, to whom they are addressing, what is the next sentence is going to be. Are they referring back in a long way back again? Or referring to the future. You got to be so vigilant enough to understand all these things. It is a must and should that you should do this one. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for you to be a faithful person, because a faith person should be reading the Bible, nothing else. That's the only thing. Nothing else he should read or he should eat. The only thing that he should eat is the all these um, what I'm talking to. So when we talk about the Bible and this education, I request you guys to come prepare with the next time. Probably maybe I might start something else. Um, I do have a lot of commitments. I'm not sure that I'm going to talk any other chapter or any topics, but Paulnet, how it developed, it was developed just because of the so many people were there. He wanted to bring some standardization, some rationalization, or some thing that she wanted to offer. So that's why she was thinking to um, um, what I can say. Um, as we think about all this Christianity, how it developed, how it went through, how it came up to this power, you always think, study and properly and try to understand the Bible, what it talks about. How come, when Christianity is established, after that Islam is established, after Islam is established, you have Mormons. It's keep going. And also, if you see the Bibles, they have been translated into several languages, but each and every day there's a new Bible, has been given birth all the time. All the time. So there are a lot of changes in the words, and also, they changes according to their convenience. They change that one. So it is also happening in our world, in our Christian world. So, but Paul was one of the reason for reaching out to the Gentile, and he was preaching them to the Gentile how to be, how to follow the Christianity and everything. But Paul, at one way, we can say, yeah, he's right, I think, but he was also wrong in several places, which we will discuss in a future when we talk about anything about the Paul. But real right now, is it apologetics? It's an apologetics. It's Christianity or Paulinity. We can definitely say that Paul was the one who initiated all these things, and he's still doing it, and still working on it. So, in a several way that we can see, it's still growing and growing. People are following Paul like anything. In certain places, Paul himself confuses what he was talking. Sometimes he will jump into Jewish people and he will, as if he is supporting the Jewish, and then sometimes he will talk about against the Jewish people. So there are so many things that he confuses himself. So when we talk, it's a Paulinity or Christianity. Of course, it is because of the Paulinity. The Christianity has been more shaped and more in a form that it has been brought. And you know think about these guys. I'm really actually having a lot of trouble doing these things, but please think about this one, and make sure that you're learning everything correctly. And the days are so near, and you never know what is going on with Israel and other alliances on that area. And so many things are happening right now, and which maybe I will talk something about the whole prophecy and everything, where Rabbi, what is his name? Elvino, what is his name? Let me see. What was the rabbi's name? Mm, yeah, Ephraim Palmno. So, what was his predictions about the future? I will tell definitely, maybe tomorrow, day after tomorrow, whenever I get time. But anyway, guys, think about this one, and we'll come back and continue with this one. Till then, Shabbat Shalom, Shavua Tov. May God bless you. God be with you. Take care and bye bye.
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נעשה בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפץ הכל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא עובר והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפץ הכל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא עובר בתפארה והוא עובר והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפץ הכל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא עובד והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפץ הכל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא עובד והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפץ הכל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא עובד בתפארה והוא עובד והוא יהיה בתפארה